today we have a member, sivofec member, one of very active members joining with me. But Lanka is not here with me today. Lanka from UK has taken a little bit break. He's gone on a vacation. But we have Salia Sirivardhana from Australia connecting with us. So it's two Australians from here today. So before we go further, let us pay our respect to the First Nations people of the land, our elders past, present, and emerging. Salia, welcome to the podcast. Exciting one. And Salia also not very well today, but he's very keen to join. Do you want to say hi to everyone, Salia?
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Asanka, for having me in the podcast. And I do apologize from everybody. My voice is not too clear. It's the seasonal change, hay fever time, and I've got the best of it. So, not feeling too well. But that let's put that aside and let's continue with the today's podcast session.
Yep.
Over to you, Asanka.
Thank you, Salia. So the topic we picked today is something again I picked, and I know Salia is very close to this one about the word disable. The word disable. To be honest, I don't like the word. So I'm very straightforward. I don't like the word because it separates people. It's basically label people. So I was debating about this word disabled, and also yes, there's terms now. This has been discussed in the world about
Mm,
this word before, and there's
yeah,
terms now. We go say people with disability. We don't address the person, but we address the uniqueness of the person, people with. But I still don't like this word. So this is something new we are going to bring to everyone. What I like to suggest is we can say people with unique ability. We can say
differently
people.
able.
Yeah, so we can use this word differently, still address the issues, because
Mm,
how I look at Sally is I don't know how you look at. I think I also got, if you go to the word disability, I also got disability. No, I might not be good on certain areas where someone else is. So then, should we call that a disability, or should we call that unique ability? So the same way, people with disability, we say now people with disability, still there has to be a better word. They're part of our society. They are our brothers, sisters, moms, dads, and what I see is they are people with unique ability, without going to the negative side of uh, what they cannot do. They people with unique ability. Now if we look at Paralympics, some of the games they play, the most of the games they participate, there's actually hell of a lot of effort put in than someone who's uniquely almost close to perfectly able. Uniquely able, these people do a hell of a lot. So there's massive respect for that from my end to these uniquely able people. And I don't like to call this word people with disability or disability. What else your views on this, Salia? Because you work with the sector very closely.
yes, Asanka. Now, I worked in aged care for 2 years. During that period, we have referred to these people with disabled as differently able, rather saying disabled. When you say disabled, we categorize them as they are incapable of doing something. That is wrong. Yes, they may have a weakness. Yes, they may have um, uh, a difference from a normal person, but that doesn't mean they are not able to do their things. They are able to do their day-to-day life activities differently. Like you mentioned about Paralympics. If you look at a Paralympian, they work hard and they perform sometimes, most of the time, they perform hand in hand to a perfectly able. I would just use that word to explain this situation. They perform equally to a perfectly able person in Paralympics. If they are disabled, how can they perform with the equal capacity of a perfectly able person? They are not disabled, they are differently able. That's how I would like to see it. And also, other thing I was thinking, like when I got the topic, when you said like, okay, we are going to talk about disability or disabled, then I was thinking, could it also be the way we have defined this word? When we use the word disable, we have given a meaning for this word, and that meaning has been everybody. It's that's the word. That's the meaning that we have um, put into the society. And anytime someone hears the word disable, in their mind, they think of that particular meaning we have given to this word. So, yes, it is a word. Have we given the correct meaning to that word? I think it's about time that we should make awareness of this to people and say, hey, look, yes, it is disabled, but when you say disable, it means something different. It doesn't mean that person is not able to do something. What it means is a person is able to do the same thing differently. So, eh, personally, I feel yes, we need to change the way how we look at this word. We need to change the way how we interpret this word as well. A quick example, Asanka, is now in aged care, we have residents diagnosed with dementia. So, dementia is a diagnosis, but often we refer to residents diagnosed with dementia as dementia residents, which is quite disrespectful, which categorize them as people who have lost their memory, or it kind of categorizes them in a very bad way. So instead of categorizing them in such manner, out of respect, the Aged Care Quality Commission has come out and said, hey, look, let's reword this one. Let's say, instead of saying dementia residents, we'll call them as residents diagnosed with dementia. Because when the word comes, when we put the word diagnose in between, then the person who's listening will understand, it's a diagnosis. So this person is diagnosed with this condition. So it becomes a condition rather being uh, a disability, or rather being categorized. I think it's about time that we need to make awareness to the public of certain words that we use and what exactly that words mean. So personally, I feel even if we need to use the word disabled, let's give a different meaning. Let's elaborate it, and let's try to give the awareness of um, awareness to the public of a different meaning of this word. Differently able. Disabled means differently able. It's not that they can't do. It's like it. What it means is differently able. Because in life, life happens. We cannot stop life. Anyone could go through a hard time. Like Asanka said earlier, like we all do have disabilities. We have, but we don't call them as disabilities. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, but we don't call our weakness as a disability. We we call them weaknesses. But if someone has to amputate their hand or a leg due to accident, then we call, after amputating their leg or hand or a body part, we call that person, oh, he's a disabled person. It's quite disrespectful to say that, because he's a normal person. Maybe that person's personal reason that it happened, maybe a medical condition that that person had to amputate a part of their body. But is it fair to categorize that person and say, hey, you're disabled now? That's kind of like giving a message to that person, your life is done. Or literally saying that, oh, you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that, you won't be able to walk, you won't be able to write, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to hold a cup anymore.
Exactly right, Sally.
letting down, mentally letting down a person. Rather, we can tell to that person, hey, look, yes, due to a medical condition or whatever the condition, we had to amputate. That doesn't mean anything. You're still able to do it. You are differently able to do it. Let's rethink of the situation. Let's let's rework things. Let's do it in a different way. Getting the same things done that you used to do in a different way. That motivation needs to be there. I think, in general, what I have seen in Australia, working in the aged care sector, especially with the seniors, there's a lot of motivation. There's a lot of encouragement to the seniors, citizens, to tell them that no, they're still able, they've got the strength to do certain things, uh, physiotherapy sessions, maybe lifestyle activities. They've done, they've implemented so much, strengthen their mentality and say, hey, you are able to do things as normal. That's how I see it, Asanka.
Very true, Sally. I think you covered the whole lot and you nailed it. So it is, yes, definitely this word and the using of words we need to recognize differently. And now, without going to the negative side of the word, we can look at the positive. That's why the uniquely able is looking at the positive side of the word, and it's addressing the negative side of the word in a very very minor way, so that we see a lot of positive things,
Yeah. Can
that
I say it like this as well, Asanka? We have to address the negative impact in a positive way. So,
correct.
negative impact is not being able to do things usual, but the positiveness of it is we are addressing that negative impact in a positive way to encourage and motivate that person or people to live their normal life in
Correct.
a better
Very
way.
true. Very true. Yes. Negative impact. Yeah. Very true. Motivate in the positive way. So the sector has done a little bit work to get this one saying always person with disability. Now this is moving for people to look at not the disability, see the person, which is good. Now this majority lies in the healthcare sector and the doctors and those who are in the industry. Now general people like you and me living in the normal society is not embedded to this 100%. Now that is why I am thinking we need to scrap this word, and then we could say people with unique ability, uniquely able. So we got to create this awareness. We got to create this awareness for current generation and the future generations to come. This is we the general public see part of this, and that is why sivofec is talking about this. We may not make a big impact, but we make a little dent. Little dent is better than nothing. So let us, and we invite everyone else, we invite people who's watching this to comment on this one. Please do go and comment on this one. Please do subscribe and help us. We want to take this message. We Sivofec, the objective is to create a society that support each other and look after each other and nature a society that you can fall on to. It's a safe haven we are trying to build up. So it is,
Yeah,
this
so
is
true.
once we build it, this is yours. The audience, this is yours. This is purely aimed at making a difference to the world. The other thing I would like to call out for authorities, governments, and also the sporting bodies to look at all these event associated with uniquely able people to prioritize. Now, if you look at Olympics is a long history, I understand, but Paralympic, why Paralympic is just the second thought. The major event is over, the hype is over, build up is over. Then comes to the other events, it's a secondary. Why not we do Paralympic first? We build everything. We get all the athletes around, the uniquely able and perfectly able and close to perfectly able, everyone around together and start the event first. Why not? Why cannot we do it? Now there's a need for this. If we look at it, if we look at that is important. Are we categorizing this because uniquely able people, a certain percentage in the society, uniquely able people are not attracting media, or they're not attracting crowd and not generating funds to those sponsors? But we can change all these. A better society will support the people, because remember, anyone who's if you remember, anyone who's doing sports, you could have a brother, sister, uh, mom, dad, or very close relation who's uniquely able. But if
Yeah,
you deeply love and care them, why don't we put them at the forefront? Why don't we change that status quo? This is something I'm calling out for everyone, all the influencers in the world. My
yeah, you're right,
message.
Asankar. Actually, I think when it comes to Olympic, this is my personal view again. I feel maybe they are doing this Paralympics secondary because of the financial impact or the sponsorship or Paralympics. Yes, when it comes to Paralympics, there will be some limitations, or when it comes to category wise, like the events wise, there will be different events. So there will be certain amount of distraction or not too much interest in a financial capacity or revenue earning capacity. So that could be the reason, like, because if you look at the world trend of the world is economy based or business based, like, it's all about making money and revenue and etc. So that could be a major reason why they have swapped this around. So they do the major event, make the bulk of it, and then, but again, by doing that, we are categorizing people again. We are letting the people, we are letting the differently able people down, and we are cornering them, which should not happen. We all are equal. It
Very
needs
true,
to
sir.
bring forward.
Very true, Sally. It's someone taking this initiative. This need to start somewhere. So like look at today the female sports. Decade ago, that was secondary.
Yeah.
But there is the focus. There is the proper recognition required, equal
Hmm.
opportunity required. It's been identified, and the energy is on there. And look at look at in Australia how good Matildas took over the
Yes.
soccer. Every kid in the nook and of the corner, no matter whether male or female or any other gender, they are into soccer because it was promoted. It is the game we look at. This is where we need to have willingness to do it and the willing power to do it. Now, I would like to bring Simon Sinek onto this, because we go through every podcast talking about Simon, because Simon Sinek, we are here. Now, Simon talk about the finite objectives and infinite objectives. Now, here, if you have finite objectives, we might not be able to achieve this. These organizations, if they look at today's profit, tomorrow's profit, how we're going to achieve every single KPI, this might look like no worth for them. But if you look at infinite, how are we gonna patiently build it? How are we gonna sustain this for the long term? How this is gonna pay off as we go? Yes, definitely. Now the need of the world today is to look at that way, because why are we doing everything? We are social animals. We are human beings. It's just to recognize the humanity. What what is the purpose of not having this connection and having a business successful on the long term? If we are not there, if the humans are not there, what will what will happen? So we got to look at long term. We got to commit. There is a dying need for people to be strong and people to realize this, and this is really important. So we can make a small step change here. The sivofec members who are with us now on Facebook and on YouTube channel, we are very small. Like I always keep saying, we are just a little tiny drop in the ocean. But this tiny drop in the ocean, with time, we are moving ahead with infinite objectives. We are not in a hurry to make it big tomorrow or there, but we are here to make, if we can make a difference to one person in their life, we've done something. We have achieved something. So please, our request is to join us.
Join us for this podcast. Please do write to us, email us, or send a message on Facebook with your details. We'll get back to you. We need like minded people. We need the society to help us build this to this society. So, join us on the podcast and have a discussion. Bring valuable topics like Salia joined us today, and we can take this forward. We are very small, we are tiny, but we can take this forward. Please, our request is to subscribe, message us, join us, and join this momentum. We can make a difference to the world. And Salia, thank you very much for joining us, and I'm inviting you again, Salia, in 2 weeks' time. If our audience don't get back to us for a podcast, let us have a topic and let us talk about something that we can contribute to the society and something that we can give it to the society. Let us not forget, we are here unconditionally. Right? Whatever we do, there is no conditions attached. So over to you, Salia. Thank you very much. Say thank you to the audience, and we'll uh, wind up the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Asanka, for inviting me for this session. And I really enjoyed this session, and I love the topic that we had picked up. And also, I take this opportunity to say thank you to our lovely audience. We like to hear from you. We love to hear from you. Uh, we like to know how much you are enjoying our podcasts. We'd like to know what can we do better with our podcast. We'd like to know how you feel about the topics that we have chosen to discuss, and we would really love to get more feedback on our delivery as well. There's always room for improvement. We are a small group of people, sivofec. We are trying our best to make a positive impact to the society by doing the right thing. We invite you all to stay with us, help us grow our community, and let's all together make a huge impact to the society by doing the right thing. Hoping to see you all in another session of podcast. Until then, goodbye.